I think a lot of people overcomplicate it and want to get their LLC and their business card and do all these other things, but just literally get the phone ringing and you'll start to get momentum.
So Nick, if someone's coming to you, they ask you the question, hey, what's the one secret? Maybe the gift that you just talked about, but you could say that. And what's step number one to getting this real estate business going?
Yeah, step number one is getting your first deal. So in terms of getting your first deal, my recommendation is nothing happens until the phone rings, right? So don't sit there and get paralysis analysis and get stuck in watching video after video, podcast after podcast. Do what you need to do in terms of marketing to get the phone ringing with motivated sellers so you can start having conversations. That's literally what starts the snowball down the hill. Is getting the phone to ring with leads is step number one. Don't worry about all the other things, out the gate. If you're just getting started, just focus on that one thing, getting the phone to ring and having quality conversations with other human beings. That's really it. I think a lot of people overcomplicate it and want to get their LLC and their business card and do all these other things, but just literally get the phone ringing and you'll start to get momentum.
Excellent. So getting leads, getting the phone ringing, nothing happens until the phone rings, until you're having quality conversations. Okay. So I guess what's been the best secret to getting these leads coming in or uncovering these deals or getting motivated sellers to call you when it comes to wholesale or brokering deals or finding deals?
Yeah, so I do all digital marketing. I don't do any telecommunications, and telecommunications is cold calling, ringless voicemail, texting, things like that. That's pretty typical in the industry that I'm in, real estate, wholesaling and fix and flipping. But everything that I do is actually inbound. So I advertise on Google and Bing and a bunch of other search engines for motivated sellers to reach out to me, which completely changes the dynamic of the conversation and leads to a much higher conversion rate. So, my team converts 1 out of every 14 seller leads that we get in the door, which is a huge leverage factor, because if you look at telecommunications, it might take you 40 or 60 leads to get a contract, as opposed to it takes me 14. So, not only am I spending less time and energy, but I'm also spending less money as well to get these contracts.
Awesome. That sounds saying. So it's inbound, all digital. It's not outbound, cold calling, and then you're advertising on Google and Bing to get these coming in, and then your team takes in, qualifies, has the quality conversation, builds the rapport, finds out the needs, right? Find out if there's a way to make it a win-win. I'm assuming we can get to that here in a minute. But I'm curious, are you also YouTube advertising versus Google versus Bing? Why one versus the other? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we do a ton on YouTube as well. YouTube is actually owned by Google. So within your Google Ads platform, you can create YouTube campaigns, and those have been phenomenal. And it's kind of an untapped blue ocean right now. So we get a great cost per lead on YouTube. The only thing that I don't do in digital is I don't do any social media like Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, just because the intent of those people that are scrolling on Facebook and clicking to go to your website isn't as strong as somebody that types into Google how to sell my house fast and then goes to your website. So the quality of search engine traffic is higher than social media traffic, and the hundreds of thousands of dollars I spent on Facebook and social media, it can't come close to a search engine.
Okay, that's really interesting. I think that makes a whole lot of sense, right? So you're focusing on what works, and maybe you've tried the other ones in the past, right? But you're like, you know what? I want someone who's very specific, who knows what they're looking for. Let's advertise to those folks, and let's have them inbound call us. Is that a fair summary so far?
100%.